Welcome to Gold Silver Pros, where you'll learn the ins and outs of the gold and silver markets. Searching for the best precious metals deal? Our affiliates are of the utmost trust, quality, and highest customer service in the industry. Shop with our trusted partner, �モ𝙁. Access special deals on silver, gold, and platinum through our website or call 307-264-9441.
Hey everybody, it's Rob Keynes of 𝙂𝙊𝙇𝙀𝙍, and I'm joined by a special guest, a returning guest to the program. It is Steve Mueller, who's a dissident dentist, to give us our uranium update. We're going to date this as June 8th, 2022. Steve, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well, Rob. Thanks. How about you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Got the move all done, studio set up in the new place, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, that's good.
A little bit less chaotic now going forward, so.
Good.
You follow uranium probably closer to most people I know. What's going on in uranium? I know that we had a little bit of nice pop in uranium as of late, and fill us in.
We've got this super weird color, green. I hadn't seen it in a couple of months, which was kind of getting annoying, but
yeah.
Let me share my screen and I'll pull up the Sprott Physical Trust recently started buying again.
Okay.
And the spot price actually has gone up many dollars this past couple of weeks without them buying much. They've only bought 300,000 pounds, and we've seen the price move, I think $7 something just in the past 2 weeks. And they've raised about $115 million cash in less than 2 weeks. So money's coming back in, and that's good. But, we're still really, really, really cheap. And I'm zooming out here to the last uranium bull market where uranium price to gold was 1/5 or 0.2 or 20%, I'm going to say it. We're still all the way down here. So, we had a little bit of froth last year. We pulled back, consolidated, pulled back, and now we're starting to, I think it is my opinion, especially looking at the volumes, we're going to rip again.
So why did you do that compared to gold real quick? Just explain that.
Yeah, every country, every central bank seems to be on Project Zimbabwe, and
yeah.
They blame medical emergencies, they blame shipping failures, inflation is transitory or not transitory, or it's out of control. They don't know. But yeah, gold just kind of gives us a stable price over time to compare real assets from one to another. So I've taken this chart back to the 40s, and gold typically gets 15 to 20%, or uranium gets to 15 to 20% to an ounce of gold. So I think there's still a lot of outperformance in this commodity bull market for uranium. Not that you shouldn't own gold, you got to. Not that, not you shouldn't own gold stocks. They're historically cheap compared to gold. You should own some gold stocks. But I think energy this year and next probably outperforms most things. Definitely the S&P, which again, I can show you. We are really, 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 really cheap.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think this is just the beginning. Not that we have to revert to mean, which would, be here, or overshoot to mean, which would be up here. But typically history rhymes, and you see some sort of trend. And I think this is a trend that's going up as people value maybe speculations less and maybe real assets and real companies with cash flow more.
Yeah.
So, which uranium companies mostly still don't have. So they're still pretty cheap compared to the commodity, but I think they're starting to break out. So that's what we got here, where you have uranium being the denominator against the mining ETF URI. Let me see if I can get it. Oh, well, there we go. So anyway, really good. But this week, because of the energy crisis and because of they're wanting to put Russian sanctions in, the U.S. decided to throw $4 billion pretty much right here at enrichment and conversion. And whether or not they buy any natural uranium or pay any uranium miners like UEC to go and mine uranium in the United States, we don't know yet. The text of the bill is not out, but man, we're looking at it and it's looking good. Even if they spend it all just in enrichment and conversion, which is where you take natural uranium, you convert it to a gas, and then you purify it to it's usable for a reactor to make fuel. That money is gonna trickle on down eventually. So we saw a pretty big pop. I think UEC bounced like 30% this week. Pull that up for us. Yeah. So that was a good recommendation on your part to recommend UEC.
Yay, UEC.
Yay, UEC. There it goes. So yeah, from the December low, it's not quite doubled, but just about. And you recommended it way back there, so people should be in the green if they buy.
Oh yeah,
responsibly. But yeah, just this last week, it took off because they've got the former Uranium One assets. They've got the mine in Texas. So if there's any company, there's only so many American companies that can make uranium. UEC gets a lot of love. So good pick, Rob.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned before they may not be the cheapest in terms of their ability to deliver uranium, but given the market and given the fact that uranium in the U.S. is so much needed, any of these potential U.S. producers are going to be really valued by the market. Yep,
and it's in Texas and Wyoming. So, and we're seeing bipartisan support for this bill behind the halls of Congress and stuff. So I think it gets passed. It did come from the White House, and so and they had been the ones dragging their feet. So I think,
so you mean Congress is actually going to do something positive for the economy and helping the uranium market?
Yeah, first time in my life, I think. But yeah,
they need to do it with other things like rare earths and other things as well. I mean, really what needs to happen is they need to go and look at all the minerals, given what's going on in the world. We know bifurcation of the market, regional trading, all that stuff. And they know that too. They're not stupid. So shouldn't they go through and say, what are all the minerals we absolutely have to have that we import the most of, that we think that we have something actually in the US and we should fast track those mines? Shouldn't they do that? I mean, is that difficult for an administration to say, put a little bit of money behind and get that pumping?
Just
to me, it's a lot cheaper than a lot of the other stuff that they do.
Yep. And that would be productive, and that would be a good use of our tax dollars. And just this year, we've seen the Department of Energy Secretary Granholm and her lieutenant, Katie Huff, come in to do that. And they've identified a lot of rare earths and a lot of battery metals, uranium, some critical medical lists, vanadium, a bunch of those. So I think we'll see that. But we're seeing governments around the world do that. And I have Japan's nuclear power plants on because every single one of the utilities in Japan is looking for more uranium so they can get restarted because they have an energy crisis in Japan. So Japan's looking to restart. That's the second biggest fleet behind the US. And those restarts are gonna be an incredible tailwind when they come. And the other thing that shocked me was just this week, the editor-in-chief at Bild, the largest German newspaper, came out and said, no, we need to support nuclear power. That's what 𝙤𝙊𝙇𝙀 means in German.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. So they're reversing course, and it didn't take long, did it?
No.
You have a natural gas crisis, and all of a sudden you're like, we're screwed if we don't restart uranium or the.
I mean, I think they're paying like $40 for natural gas. We're at $9, and it's not quite a record high for us, but it's high. Yeah. But there's several times that, and they haven't hit the heat of the summer. They want to try to get away from Russian gas. So
why do these idiots ever turn down the reactors? I understand environmentalism, but these are carbonless. Yeah. Recycling uranium's gotten a lot easier. They're talking about making long-lasting, low-voltage batteries with uranium waste, which could power things like your watch and other, low current users. Like for the lifetime. Yep. So that would be a big breakout. They're going to use the spent uranium for that. They've already got a design. So, why in the hell would you shut down your nuclear power plant. There's no downside to running these things, really. I mean, other than, if tsunamis, but in Germany, you're not going to have that issue. What in the hell? Why did they do that? That can't. Okay, Steve, I'm going to rant on this for a second. That cannot be environmentalism.
No,
it's not ESG to shut down your nuclear reactors. It's just plain stupid.
Yep. Yeah. But
there had to be other political motivations to that. But why they would do that in the face of the continuing of the war and all of the problems they've been having with Nord Stream 2. I mean, Nord Stream 2 problems started way before the Russia-Ukraine war.
Yep.
So in the face of that, why in the hell would you turn off your nuclear? That is just insanely stupid to me. What you would have to do is wait and see the resolution of natural gas.
Yep.
And given the fact that you're dependent upon other people for natural gas, and you don't want to be, they want to be as energy independent as they can. There zero reasons make sense for why they ever started shutting down their nuclear reactors. I can't find a single. Somebody in Germany is going to email me and say, Rob, it was this. This is going on in the political scene. This is what caused it. But and I hope somebody does. But for the life of me, I have no damn clue why they shut them down.
Well, they had several leading political figures that also had financial gain by being on the board of directors for Russian gas companies. So possible that had something to do with it. I don't know.
That could have had something to do with it. But why do the idiot politicians go along with that legislation? Because I don't know if it's a bicameral legislature in Germany like it is here, but I know they have a legislature.
Right.
Why would, how many ever houses of the legislature they have? Why would they vote on that? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I understand the influence on political organizations, by corporates, which is rampant.
Yep.
But I still don't know how you go down that masochistic route. I don't care how much money somebody's paying you. If you live in Germany, you don't want to have energy problems because it's going to affect you a lot more than getting some kickback from some Russia guy for shutting them down. I mean, you're talking about the security of your nation. What idiots thought, okay, let's cause major security and energy security issues by shutting down these nuclear plants. And who are all the people that went along with this and didn't fight back and say, especially like the energy commissions, why didn't they say you're nuts? Why didn't their president / prime minister, again, I don't know their political system very well. Why didn't their executive? Why wasn't there a hue and cry from the people? Is everybody asleep over there? Seriously.
They're starting to wake up. So that's good.
All right. Sorry to interrupt you with my rant, but I still don't get it to this day.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, we're seeing problems even with their own grid, like we're worried about ERCOT, right? In Texas this summer.
Jesus. Well, more issues have come out because not only did they try to make solar and wind a higher percentage of base load,
right?
There are continued calls for additional usage in Texas, primarily because so many people are freaking immigrating here, which is great for the business climate, but killing our power grid.
Right.
And the EV revolution is killing it too. There's a bunch of things.
Yeah.
But they know that they need to increase capacity and they're screwing around not doing it. And they're screwing around not putting in additional nuclear, which is the only damn way you're going to get it in Texas because they're not going to bring back coal generation in Texas. That ship has sailed. And you can do natural gas, but you can't, with the facilities we have, we can't ramp up natural gas, asymmetrically.
Mm-hmm.
You have to build that infrastructure out, and gas plants aren't cheap.
No.
And building those grid connections doesn't happen overnight. They're extremely regulated. And so is nuclear. So why aren't you putting in plans now to supplement the grid with nuclear and maybe some additional natural gas that can be brought online? If you're so intent on getting away from coal, and we know that wind and solar during storms doesn't work for obvious reasons. Texas is kind of screwed too. I think Texas is a lot like Germany. A big economy in and of itself, has some energy independence, makes stupid decisions with respect to its energy infrastructure implementation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another rant. Sorry, I had to rant on Texas.
No, it's good, man. Yeah.
I love the great state of Texas, but some of the decisions made by our politicians is as vexing as the ones made in Germany.
Yeah. But I think we'll see the maybe the pain this year that convinces people to change their mind. So
yeah,
long term, I think we're good. I'm optimistic.
The more that I've sat down with you and examined nuclear and then done my own research, even though I used to write on it, it's been years.
Yeah,
I cannot tell you how bullish I am on uranium and the nuclear reactors, and eventually thorium. I think we'll get there in another generation, maybe thorium.
I hope it's just 7 to 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know it'll be that fast, but
we have boatloads of thorium, and I know it's not the perfect solution, but it would take a lot of pressure off of uranium and a lot of pressure off of all these grid. In fact, we know the U.S. has about 100 years of oil at current usage rates. We have enough thorium to literally last thousands of years, and it's resident in our country. And even if the reactors aren't as efficient, they will eventually get there. You could start doing some to start taking some pressure off of this uranium crunch. I mean, you right now you can take thorium and put it in an existing nuclear reactor, and you don't get the same output with slight adjustments, but you can get some output. But they're talking about thorium designs in which you start it with uranium and then you run it off of thorium, which takes huge pressure off of the uranium demand, and uses thorium, which in the US, we have massive containers of thorium that was dug up during other mine development, and thorium was a byproduct, and it's just sitting there waiting to be used, like tons of it, thousands of tons of it. Anyway, another rant, but thorium should be in the plants right now.
It should. Yep.
Right now.
So I think we'll see it, but yeah, man, that's about all the update I had. We're in a bull
I think
market.
that's about 5 minutes of your update and about 15 minutes of my ranting.
No, it's good. I just, we're climbing a wall of worry, like any other bull market. It wants to buck you off, the bull. So we've seen a lot of volatility and a lot of memes about dumpster fires, and those are fair.
You want to pop off of sharing real quick, and we'll wrap this one up. So yeah, you wanted to give us just a real quick update on that, which I do appreciate. Yeah. You doing this saves me the time of doing it, and it's like having a partner in the business. So I appreciate it.
I'm always here for you, Rob. It's good to see you.
But you've been so right on your call on uranium, 100% right since the beginning. Called it very close to where it happened, and been offering super valuable updates. So appreciate it. And all the subscribers watching this right now, if you're looking for a good, solid speculative asset class, which has really good fundamentals and basically no substitute known demand at this moment,
right?
Short of the politicians becoming suicidal and putting us back in the literal dark ages where we don't have electricity on the grid, uranium has to go. There's no freaking alternative, right? Unless they recommission all the coal plants, and it's not going to happen due to ESG initiatives. It's not going to happen. So uranium is it, and whether it's 1 year or 5 years, I mean, this thing has to keep going. Yep. It is almost a sure thing as when the dollar fails, the gold is going to help revalue the financial system, right? Yep. Uranium, that the need for uranium worldwide is as much almost a sure thing as you can get in the commodity space, if you can get one.
Yep. Agreed.
All right, Steve, I know you have family matters to attend to, and thank you for listening to my ranting on various topics today. Putting together the work to put all this together. I know you have got your ears on the ground. You talk to people in the market all the time. Yep. We appreciate all that. We appreciate you doing that for the channel. I know that everybody out there does as well. So thanks for joining.
Thanks, man. It's good seeing you.
Yeah, you as well. Bye-bye.